The Congress is leading in most of the seats for which leads are available. We have a senior politician of the country, Mr. K. Brahmand Reddy with us, and also a couple of short recorded interviews we had recorded earlier here. First, Mr. Reddy, who do you think will form the government at the center?
I think as things are going, there is every likelihood of the Congress getting a working majority. But at the same time, I have also a doubt that possibly there may be 10 or 15 less for a working majority.
Then whose support will the Congress take?
Naturally, the left parties, the JD and other friends may either joining the government or outside support they may give in the interest of the future of the nation.
This is your advice to the Congress party?
That's my advice to the party. Not only that, even if you form a coalition government and you must function as if it's the national government, in the sense that you have to consult all national parties on the interests of the main interests of the nation, namely the changes that have to take place in various fields of public activity like decentralization, secularism, removal of poverty, electoral reform, etc., etc.
Can I interrupt for a moment? We have a tape also, which can we have the tape, please? Right now we have the President of the All India Babri Masjid Action Committee, Mr. Sultan Salahuddin Owaisi, who is also a candidate in the Hyderabad constituency, and also Mr. Sudhir Kumar, President of the Andhra Pradesh Youth Congress Committee. First, Mr. Owaisi, what is your reaction to the fact that the BJP is doing much better than what it did last time?
बीजेपी के ताल्लुक से यही कहना है कि पूरे हिंदुस्तान में उनको अवाम ने मुस्तरद कर दिया, क्योंकि जितने भी सेकुलर फोर्सेस हैं उन्होंने तो वो कामयाब हुए। यकीनन बीजेपी को थोड़ी सी कामयाबी हुई है, लेकिन जो बाबरी मस्जिद के ताल्लुक से और मुल्क में माइनॉरिटीज़ के ताल्लुक से उनके जो प्रोग्राम थे वो तमाम पार्टियों ने उनको मुस्तरद कर दिया। अब मैं नहीं समझता कि उनका कोई मुल्क में मुस्तकबिल होगा। यकीनन जज्बाती अंदाज में लोगों ने उनका साथ दिया, लेकिन आप खुद देख रहे हैं कि जो बीजेपी के जो स्टेट्स थे जहां उनकी हुकूमत थी वहां खुद उनको शिकस्त हो रही है। इसका यही मतलब है कि आवाम अब समझते चले जा रहे हैं उनके अज़ाइम को और वो उनको मुस्तरद कर रहे हैं।
Mr. Sudhir Kumar, there have been allegations against you that you have been indulging in political violence. In fact, Mr. N.T. Ramarao, when he went on fast, also made a demand that you should be arrested. What is your reaction to
Those are only political motivated allegations which Doordarshan is making. I don't think those allegations are true.
That's all from Hyderabad. This is Sanjeev Thomas, over to Delhi.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Now, we were talking earlier about north of India, and if you have a look at where the seats are being gained by either party and by the Congress, where they're not gaining any at all. If you look at Uttar Pradesh to start with, in fact, and if we look at, for example, the BJP, it's basically quite a lot in the Jat belt in the western part of the country and picking up a few seats in the east as well. But the north and northwest, it's picking up its majority of seats. Now, if we turn to the Janata Dal, you can see it's one or two in the Jat belt in the west part of western Uttar Pradesh, but in the south, we can see that's the main area where it's picking up seats. As far as the Congress is concerned, at the moment it's leading in only one seat in the whole of Uttar Pradesh, and that is Amethi. Now, turning to Bihar, here the Janata Dal is the leading party, and it's mainly in northern Bihar. That's where it's tending to sweep most of the seats. As far as the BJP is concerned, it's confined to the southern part of Bihar, and the tribal belt actually has the JMM seats. That's the kind of distribution. But before we go into that, we do have Bangalore now. Let's go across to Maya Sharma in Bangalore.
A visibly dejected Ramakrishna Hegde met us a short while ago.
Well, it's difficult to say immediately. There could be many reasons. Firstly, our strategy was wrong. And secondly, there were no funds. Our candidates were starving of funds. And thirdly, our organizational setup, particularly at the lower level, was not very satisfactory. BJP have surged was only to a limited extent. You know, I don't call it an upsurge. Of course, I mean, they did play on the minds of devout Hindus, particularly the middle-class Hindus, on the issue of Ram Mandir. It looked as if BP Singh government never allowed them, you know, to construct a mandir. We tried to dispel that kind of misunderstanding, but it was not possible because our resources were too limited. BJP had amassed resources over a period, and both Congress and BJP were never short of resources.
You mentioned that your strategy might have gone wrong. Did the SJP-JD alliance backfire?
No, not that. Actually, if you had not had that kind of understanding, it could have been worse. When I said strategy at the national level, you know, we should have not alienated the middle class and the urban electorate. Perhaps, you know, if you had explained about the Mandal Commission implications, their fears could have been allayed. And there was a lot of misunderstanding about Mandal Commission report's implication.
So you feel the Mandal report did play a large role?
Yes, we didn't have any electoral benefit out of our decision to implement. Because backward classes thought that they are not getting anything new or anything more.
In Bagalkote, do you think you lost against the Congress or against Mr. Sidhu Nyamagowda personally?
It's Congress. Sidhu Nyamagowda was nobody. Nobody. He is, as an individual, I mean, I said, you know, he's a good worker. You know, Bangarappa said that he would like to defeat me more than winning the rest of these 27 seats. And a lot of money was spent, and all kinds of things were distributed, including liquor. But it is all right. I mean, I do not want to cry on the spilt milk.
You had mentioned retirement for politicians. What do you feel about that now?
Well, I mean, I consciously said that, and I believe, I mean that politicians also retire voluntarily, you know, after a certain stage. And I thought that this defeat has come as leave preparatory to retirement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hegde.
You're welcome.
Maya Sharma in Bangalore.
A sad indication there of a man who says that he, or indicates that he may be quitting politics, but we'll get a reaction from the panel right now. But first, let's go across to the Congress I headquarters. Oh, it's not ready yet, is it?
No, I don't get any indication.
Fine.
If it's ready.
We'll go there.
I think Prabhat says it's ready.
Okay, we go straight across.
Yeah.
We have with us Mr. Kamal Nath, who has just been elected from Chhindwara constituency in Madhya Pradesh by a huge margin of over 70,000 votes, which he says is the highest in the state. And this is the fourth time in a row that he is being elected from the same constituency. A former youth Congress leader, Mr. Kamal Nath is considered to be part of what is or so-called coterie, though he would like himself to be termed as a loyalist. Am I wrong, am I right, Mr. Kamal Nath?
Yes, I have been a loyalist, but I don't know what you mean by a coterie.
So what do you mean by a loyalist?
Well, somebody who's been with the party consistently, persistently, and who's participated in all programs of the party, who's not left the party, who's not come into the party for any office, position or post.
Now, as a youth leader, what kind of a prime minister do you think this country should have now?
Well, we need a prime minister who can relate with the entire party, which means the younger elements, the seniors, those who've been a part of the party throughout, who've not left, who've not been defectors, who've not come into the party for any post or position, who've just not enjoyed fruits of the party, but who've sacrificed for the party.
What kind of sacrifices have you made for the party, Mr. Kamal Nath?
Well, I have been involved with the agitations in 77 to 80, the various programs which we had against the Janata Dal government, the agitations against the arrest of Mrs. Gandhi, and a whole lot of them.
Are you also a candidate for the Prime Ministership? You have gone on record, mind you, that you are also want to become Prime Minister and you are in the race.
I am in no race.
Yes, then?
And I was asked.
Yes.
I was asked that, would you want to become Prime Minister? I said, who wouldn't?
That's all.
There it is. And that is the honest truth. Who wouldn't? Those who say they don't want to become.
How many candidates are there for
I
Prime
don't
Ministership
know.
from your state?
I do not know. All of them have said, up till now, all of them have said they are not candidates.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamalnath. That's all from Congress I headquarters for the moment. This is Prabhat Dabral taking you back to the studio.
Mr. Mathur, what's your brief comment on the kind of mandate we have got this time?
Well, it's not a positive mandate for any party. In the other election, Congress, it was a sort of an anti-Congress mandate. But this time there was no government worth the name. So it is sort of a mandate in favor of the Congress, not total mandate, and it lies upon the Congress to form the government as to whether do it with in cooperation with the leftist parties or Janata Dal or both of them. But clearly it has also indicated that there is a big section in the country which favors BJP. It's a sort of a positive vote for the BJP. Till this election, in early elections, there was sort of a negative vote against the government. As I said earlier, there was no government worth the name. So there was sort of a positive vote, and we believe that we have got quite a good support, and its indication is, I would like to contradict my friend Mr. Sindhya when he said that we are creating some sort of a trouble. It's on the contrary. Our movement, our approach has assisted in unifying the country.
Mr. Fernandez, your brief comment on the kind of mandate this election is thrown up.
Well, I don't think there is any clear view which the electorate has expressed. The only difference between the election this time and the earlier election or the earlier elections was that this time people have voted positively. At one level the BJP went on a Hindutva Ram Roti program. People have voted for that. The Janata Dal, the National Front, went on the issue of social justice, and along with that also economic justice, as also the secular nature of our polity, maintaining that secular nature.
Mr. Hegde just saying that perhaps you should not have alienated the middle classes. Do you agree with it?
Well, I'm not quite in agreement with what Mr. Hegde has said in terms of the Mandal Commission and its implications. I feel that what we did was the right thing, and I agree with him to the extent that we didn't explain the implications of what we were doing to the people. That was a failure.
Mr. Sindhya, would you call this a confused verdict, or leadership of various parties has failed to rise to the occasion?
No, I think this can be interpreted as a clear mandate in favor of the Congress party. The fact that we didn't get a majority is because in the large states of UP and Bihar, the religious factor was, the religion was misused, and it is a temporary aberration which the people got influenced by. But it is not something which is long term, because it is only bread and butter issues ultimately which have an impact in the long term. I have no doubt that UP and Bihar will come back into the Congress fold. There are obviously some shortcomings on our own part, which of course we'll have to examine.
Been the difference between
but what I'm trying to say is that if that slight aberration, and which I call totally temporary, because it was the misuse of the religious card, if that had not taken place, the Congress would have got a very clear majority. That's why I interpret it as a clear mandate in favor of the Congress.
Why didn't that spread from UP to Madhya Pradesh? Why did it stop at the border? It's a very strange
because as I said yesterday, wherever the BJP administered the state, whether it be Rajasthan
or did you have a different campaign yourself there? I mean, not you yourself. I mean, your party in Madhya Pradesh, was it very different to the party's campaign?
Well, we did. We did take the religious bull by the horns, and I think we came across to the people and explained what our ideas were, ideologies were. where we were at total divergence with the stand the BJP had taken, how we would not part from the path of secularism, whether we get votes or we do not get votes. I think that also counted, but I think the BJP also stood totally exposed in these states because of the total maladministration and non-performance on all fronts.
I think on this note, we would thank all of you for having joined us here for this program. And before we end the program, a look at the headlines. Prannoy, would you give the headlines or?
Fine, I'll just start with them. I think at the moment the headlines are, I think we've just heard the first one, that Hegde, does he call it quits? At least he says, I think, he's going on leave preparatory to retirement. The PM sees the President this morning. The race hots up for the new Prime Minister of India. The Congress side takes the lead now in Andhra Pradesh, doing much better in round 2. The Congress side improves in round 2, that's what I just said. And NG Ranga, the veteran, and Meera Kumar lose. Vinod.
श्री रामकृष्ण हेगड़े ने राजनीति से संन्यास लेने का संकेत सा दिया है। अभी तय नहीं है कि वो संन्यास ले रहे हैं या नहीं ले रहे। प्रधानमंत्री श्री चंद्रशेखर राष्ट्रपति से मिले और तुरंत कार्य मुक्त किए जाने का आग्रह किया। आंध्र प्रदेश में इंका को बढ़त मिली, कांग्रेस आई को बढ़त मिली और दूसरे दौर के मतदान में पूरे भारत में कांग्रेस की स्थिति सुधरी है और श्री NG रंगा गुंटूर में और श्रीमती मीरा कुमार सासाराम में चुनाव हार गए हैं। हमारा अगला चुनाव विशेष कार्यक्रम 7:50 पर होगा। तब तक के लिए नमस्कार।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।